Alright folks, welcome back to the Boys in Green YouTube channel. It's time for post-match reaction following Motherwell 1, Celtic 3 at FIRPARK, and Idah double saves the champions once again. Joined by Alistair, who was at the game as well, but he'll be giving his thoughts on the game. How are you, Alistair?
How are you, Josh? I'm good, pal.
I'm alright. Just want to start with your overall thoughts of the game, really, and I may as well start with that first half. Utter shambolic, the first half.
Yeah, it was flat and it was so unpaced. And see, to be honest, mate, we were lucky it was only 1-0
Mm.
at half time. But got there in the end. But that was a hard watch.
It was
That
a
was
hard watch, and it's
that
no.
was a hard watch.
I don't want to come on here and sound bleak and sound that downbeat after we've won the game. That's the main thing. We win the game. You need to win. There's 11 more of the wins that we need. But yet again, it just doesn't fill you. For me, it doesn't fill you with any confidence that this team are going to go on a run that could see us lifting that title in May. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. You're no wrong at all. And I would go as far as to say the first half goes to show that Brendan Rodgers does not know his best 11. I don't know his best 11.
And it's
And
the
that
25th.
is,
It's the 25th of February.
I mean, and the wingers, we'll get on it, but the wingers, oh, I mean, I'll give Yang and Palmer a, a pass,
The
but,
other two were just awful.
oh,
I mean, to be fair, we know Maida's not good enough. We know Maida's technically awful. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, he's the man. I don't know how the chance. We'll go into the second half in a minute, but he misses. I don't know how he misses that in the second half.
well,
But and I get he does well with his pressing, and he'd be alright pressing wise, but you need to have a bit more about you when you play for Celtic.
he's
Um,
he's good when a team comes and attacks you, if that makes
I
sense. But
um,
against low block teams, he is not the answer.
obviously the goal comes, and see, to be honest with you, I thought Motherwell really deserved the goal. They outplayed us that first half, as you say, but you were lucky it was only 1-0 at the time. We're in 1-0, sorry. I think did it come for a throw in, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Calman.
Uh,
I don't know if you've seen this, but or it was obvious on the TV. But at the game, Cal McGregor turns his back on a throw-in and just leaves a lazy leg. A bit like my Ofsky's goal with the Rocky and the Bosky,
aye.
whatever you pronounce that. But I was really, I mean, the boy took it well, don't get me wrong, but it's a cheap goal. How can somebody be be left free, be able to pick his spot for that distance?
Aye. I think it was a good turn for that player, that young, that Lennon Miller. I think he looks a good
I
player.
think he might be one to watch,
Aye, he looks a good player.
but
But
I'm not going to the David Turnbull.
I
I'm
know,
not
but
quite
then
going to that stage yet, but that could be one to watch.
I think obviously we're gonna, but it's all about if like he can stay fit, obviously. But anyway, then as you says, Spittles get it seems to be an absolute age to pick his spot, and
Yeah,
I've always had this thing about players. Why are they so scared to close somebody down? They stand on the edge of the box, try to jockey and just go and close them down. I
well,
seen it with uh, Arsenal midweek against Porto, man, and they were just sitting jockeying, and you're like, players scared to go to players now. That's the thing, but nothing really hard could have done about it. But it was just a really poor goal. But it was, in my eyes, it was deserved for Motherwell. I thought they were the better side, but we were just every time we went forward, it was just there was
yeah.
nothing there.
I mean, I think I mean, I may be wrong, Josh, but I can't remember, and obviously you've seen replay, But did we ever score the goal in the first half?
I think Greg Taylor had that shot that went right to
Well,
Liam Kelly for 25 yards out.
that
I
was
think
the
that was.
one. That was the one I was thinking of. But if that's your highlights of first half, the first half was abysmal.
Aye.
I mean, you can dress it up. I'm glad we won and all that. And we did play well the second half because we
Mhm.
battered them. But
No,
as
we
soon
did.
as you take 45 minutes to to wake up and a do or die game, let's face it. I mean,
Aye.
let's be honest. If we didn't won that game today, and this isn't in hindsight, because we spoke at half time on the phone, and us, and we both said 45 minutes to save the season.
That's what it seemed to me. Obviously, I was watching the TV, and it seemed to me it was that, as you said, it was 45 minutes to save a season. Obviously, getting to the second half, we, there was a lot more intensity, which was good to see. But we've seen that far too many times, where the first half is just borderline awful to watch, or the second half. Sometimes, look at Command. The second half was terrible after being 1-0 up. You know, there's
It
never
was
been.
kind of roles reversed. First half was awful, but we received it in the second half. But
And I think we're lucky if that game goes to 2-0 in the first half. I don't see Celtic. I don't even at this moment in time, and I know we've done it today, but I didn't. As we spoke at half time, didn't see the Celtic team scoring a month for Sundays at this point. Um,
yeah, well, I mean, I know we've said at games and privately that our bench was poor, but the bench saved us today. Parma, Idah, and Yang and Carter Vickers.
um,
They were the
Obviously,
four standouts.
substitutions that change the game. You've got, as you said, there, Yang come on, Palmer and Carter Vickers come on. I thought Yang was actually fairly decent. He should be starting on Wednesday night for me.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, he should. I mean, I would possibly start the team that finished.
aye, because and
I
that's
mean,
for me with Yang. That's where I've been. I still think there's something in there with Yang. I do think there's a player in there.
I think he'll
Um,
frustrate the life out of you.
I think
No,
if I think if he could go, and that's what I've continued banging on about, going on loan to somewhere. I don't think he can. Obviously, we can now because the way the squad's at now. He's a mainstay in the squad. But in the summer, if
and
we hope,
and we can't get rid or put Jan out on loan because we all know the Abada situation
Mhm.
and I mean there he wasn't even on the bench again today.
I think everybody knows that
So
Leila Celtic fear's over. I don't know about. I can't be bothered discussing it, to be honest. It's
I know
there's a
I
lot.
was
There's a
just saying
there's
he, that's the reason Yang got on. Let's
there's
face it.
obviously there's a lot of stuff like that's internal, external factors and stuff like that and things. But Yang was good. I really did think. I thought he was at least he showed a bit of fight.
It was direct. It was
He,
direct. I
at
mean,
least he went. It plays. He might be wrong. He might lose the ball sometimes, but
but he's no scared. He's
um,
no scared.
on that, I kind of want to discuss the player that he replaced in Nicholas Kuhn. That was the second game running. That was utterly painful to watch. The guy looks painful.
I mean, have you ever seen a German player with such a piss weak mentality? I'm sorry to use
Exactly.
that language, but that's
No,
how I feel. That's how I
it's
feel.
I was really annoyed with him last week because he didn't track back for the command goal. And this week he couldn't be
They were
bothered.
nothing. Heart of a mouse.
He
Heart
could
of a
not
mouse.
he could not be bothered, and that was the main problem with me. We've paid about £4 million for this guy.
Yeah, well, not a kick in the bum off it, to be honest.
about £4 million, and I don't want to judge
Right
players
him
too early,
off.
but what I've seen so far has been absolutely shambolic. Um, it's he doesn't want to seem to take on a man. He doesn't want to track back. He doesn't. I think there was a point in the second half but he was just, and this is the thing, he was just shiting it out of tackles. Yeah, I don't mean to swear, but that's what he was doing. He was just completely shitting it out of tackles. And see, in Scotland, you can't do that.
Yeah,
You can't do that.
I mean, as I said, the incident where the two Motherwell players bumped into each other, and he pulled out the tackle. I just thought, there's one thing that really annoys me is players pulling out of tackles. One, that's because you get hurt, and two, it shows you're not up for a fight.
And I think Nathan kind of talks a lot about desire and things like that, and he's kind of right. There's a lot of players in this team I just don't have the fight to go on the run that we're going to have to go on. I look at players, you know the players I'm talking about, players at Burnaby, you know,
Well,
and
Bernabeu wasn't even on the bench today either, which I was pleasantly surprised to see, to be honest with you.
aye,
Um, but
but
uh,
obviously,
can I ask you a question? Kyogo, discuss.
um,
What did you think of him today?
not good enough.
No,
It's not good enough.
no.
I think, and people know me, that I'm Kyogo's biggest
You're,
fan, right?
you're
But
Kyogo's biggest fanboy, yes, yeah.
and,
That's how
and I
I asked you.
and I can and I completely understand. I completely understand the whole service argument. That's perfectly that's perfectly valid, and that's part of the reasons.
I'll tell
It's
you what
better.
I think about Kyogo at the moment. I think the service argument is wearing very thin
Yeah,
because you you seen you seen when Adam Idah come on, and you just realised there's a boy prepared to put his body on the line, prepared to get hurt, prepared to run balls into corners when we're winning the game, etc. and
and
stuff
right,
like that.
I'm gonna stick up for him a wee bit here, Kyogo. Right, Kyogo's not that type of player, right? And I get what you're talking about. I completely understand it. Um, but and this is my biggest annoyance with a Celtic team is when Kyogo's in the park, we're playing massive balls into the box, long balls. It's not going to work. It's going to work with somebody like Adam Media who can get at, has got that physical presence. We know Kyogo's not got that. Now, it was interesting before the game. I listened to the pre-match coverage. Obviously, you were at the game, so you wouldn't have probably listened to this. And I'm, it's, I know it's actually Chris Boyd was speaking. I know, but actually,
Okay.
and what he said was perfectly. It was true. They analysed the game against Kilmarnock last week, and I think it was, and I remember seeing this at the game, and I remember saying to obviously Nathan, I don't know if I said to you, but there's a bit where like, Taylor's get the ball, Kyogo's screaming for it, and
Yeah,
he doesn't get it, and he just starts shaking his head. We're not finding him enough,
yeah,
and I get Kyogo, but I don't know what else Kyogo can do. If Kyogo's a service striker, it's
yeah,
not up. It's up to the midfield, and it's up to the other players to find Kyogo. The fact we've got two donuts and a winger who just
yeah.
don't seem to do anything. It doesn't matter who you put in
Well,
there.
let's be honest. I like Lewis Palmer, you know that. I think he gets a raw deal. Of course, he's going to
Sometimes,
be inconsistent, but wingers genuinely are. But I don't think Lewis Palmer is an out and out winger. I think he'd be a great number 10. But but see, to be totally honest with you, you cannot expect expect if you spend about £7.5 million on wingers, you, you sure to God should expect one of them to be good. And they're
They're
so
not often
inconsistent,
anybody.
it's unreal.
And I get Palmer scores the day, and that'll be good for his stat pad. He couldn't miss, thankfully. But
Yeah, well,
um, and I
well.
think Palmer stats fair enough, good, decent scoring, whatever. But he's such a frustrating player. And I think there's too many of players
Well,
for
I
me.
know it's no saying much, but Parma's probably the best winger in terms of goal threat and numbers,
I, as
etc.
you said, it's
But
not saying much.
it's no saying much. I
Um,
mean, it,
but
it looks as if, um, but I'll put it like this, Josh. We live to fight another day,
pretty
and
much
and that's basically it. So
the
we move
message is
on to Dundee.
the message for me remains the same till the end of the season. And if we keep winning the games, we win the next 11 games. Now I don't know if we will because we get Dundee midweek. We'll get Hearts and Tynecastle. I think Saturday or Sunday
I
next
think
week.
if you get by the next two, Josh, but as I say, you're living game by game.
Which has
That,
been illustrated. I've never, I think, and I'm going to just quickly touch on Brendan Rodgers' press conference after the game, not the Sky one, the one
I heard,
done
I
with
heard
the
them on
external
Radio
media.
Scotland, and
Um,
he told Jane Lewis a new
I,
one.
I
I
haven't even
don't know.
thought about that one. Super Scoreboard asked him about the points gap, and he says that 4 points wouldn't have been about, isn't it, insurmountable, and that just kind of was like, you've lost it. For me, I think Brendan Rodgers seems like a man who knows that he is one slip up away from losing this league title. You
Yeah.
know, and I don't want to sit on here and give Rangers credit, but you have to sometimes. They've got the house in order, and we're just
Well,
without.
to be to be honest, Josh, I'm going to call a spade here. You can give Rangers credit, and they do deserve credit because they're on a good run. However, the reason we're in the mess we're in at the moment is completely self-inflicted. And
Self-inflicted,
I
but
mean,
Rangers have still
I,
won the
I
games
mean,
that they've
can
needed to win.
talk
To be
about
fair,
all the garbage that is going on off the park, uh, but with a mess on the park, and that lies fairly and squarely with the manager.
I do understand that. But um, but
And can I
and
just say for the record, uh, if we get 11 1-0 ones, I will
no, you're
take.
taking that. You're taking that. But I think I've said the same as well, and I've said the same, and I've been consistent. I will be consistent to the end of the season. No matter what happens between now and May, there still has to be wholesale changes at this
And
club
um, if,
because
if Roger stays, and I've said in previous podcasts, I've got my doubts, but if he stays, there's going to have to be change somewhere. It
aye,
can't remain the status quo.
um, because basically, so
It can't.
I think even if we win the league title, I don't. This might sound controversial, but I just don't see the point in Brendan Rodgers staying at Celtic. If we do win it, we've won it with the skin of our teeth after being 8 points clear in a title race. There shouldn't be a title race at the moment, but there is. That's fine. For
And
me,
I mean this hypothetically. Do you know what I think Rodgers is going to do if we won the league? Go into a press conference and say, "Up yours, I'm off. I've won the league. I'm
that'd be a
off."
bit surprising, man. I know what you mean, but we just
Yeah,
need to win
well,
it here now at the end of the season. But I do think one more slip up and the league's over. Practically
yeah,
for me.
yeah, I
Um,
do agree. I do
because
agree.
I don't see Rangers dropping many points from now the end of the season. They seem to have. their house in order. They seem to know what they're doing. They seem to the difference is with them. I don't think the players are fully on Brendan Rodgers' ideas as Celtic manager. Might be
Well,
completely wrong there. It just seems to
or
me.
it could be, I'm sorry to bring this up, folks, but it could be that half of the team know they're off in the
Mhm.
summer and of down tools.
Well, you got that point when you got that with the 10 in a row. Remember when Eddie was out of contract?
That's what I mean,
Aya
the
was out of
COVID
contract.
season.
Cham was out of contract, and they all basically down tools. I beg to differ on Eddie. Down in tools, he's still a top goal
We're,
scorer.
we're not talking we're not talking about the COVID season, but what I'm saying is um you do get the feeling that come the end of the season, this team will, Celtic will be entering a new cycle.
I think they're
Whether
even a new side.
Rodgers is here or whether, I mean, I think that's why, for example, Joe Hart has announced he's leaving now. That was common knowledge.
Hmm.
Anybody that says they didn't see that coming, I don't know what they actually think. However, what I will say is, you tend with Celtic and or Rangers or any team in Scottish football, it tends to be 3 year cycles
Hmm.
in terms of players. So we're going
Uh-huh.
to get that.
But I think the main takeaway is for the game today, we got the result. For me, there is still. It looks like there is still some fight in there with some of the players. I'm not going to say all the players because there's some players that just
Well,
couldn't be bothered. It seems, but
Brendan needs to work out who he can trust and who's down tools.
aye,
He
um,
probably he probably knows who the players are.
aye. Just to quickly end off, your man of the match.
Has to be Adam Idah.
I think for the two goals, Adam Idah, but I
I'll
thought
give. I
Yang
would
was
like
quite
to
good.
give somebody a shout out. Um, I thought Alistair Johnson was okay.
Aye,
I really did.
um,
I know he got. I know he got. From what I've heard so far online, some people said he was poor, but I thought for a comeback game, and it was good to see the fight back in the on the park, and
aye,
hopefully that stabilises the defence because by God we need it.
aye. Just quickly as well, for if I just want to quickly discuss the financial figures that were released this week as well. Obviously made some fantastic reading,
No
fantastic
for
excuses.
I'll be honest with you, Josh. No for us because
No,
we know
obviously not.
this board won't won't spend it. It's been proven. And the
I
fact
think it
is,
was.
we've got what was it 65 million in the bank, and
But that's so. I think
uh,
it's went down
so
from 68 million to from 73 or something to 68 million pounds, but it's like a 32 million pound and £32 million profit.
yeah. So
So
which begs the question: why wasn't the manager backed in January?
see, the thing is with the backing thing, I don't think it matters how long you back thing. I think when the recruitment is this bad as well,
Yeah,
you can
Mark
spend all the money
Orwell position's untenable.
you
It
spend all the
really is.
money, you spend all the money in the world, you know, and you look at across the city there, brought that as a Diamandi or something for 4
Well,
million
look
a
at the
day's
two
loan,
of them,
and that
Cortez
Cortez as
and
well.
uh,
So I'm not having this.
they're from there. You
I'm not
just
ha-
need
I,
to know where
exactly.
they look.
I'm not having this rubbish that players are not there. It's all the nonsense. But I just want to. I don't want to go on about it too much because it's a post-match reaction. But I just thought it'd be interesting to get your thoughts on it. But the fact that they blamed the English league basically saying, "Oh, we can sign players because the English team sign players."
I mean,
It's
what
utter
Peter
ridiculous.
Lawwell's statement, I take it you read it when he said,
Aye,
we,
read the main
we
bits.
tried to buy players, but we couldn't get it over the
It's not good
line.
enough. It's not good enough.
Do me a favour, that doesn't wash.
Aye,
That doesn't wash.
but
But, of course, it's good results. I'll give you a summary on it. It's good results, but I'm just fed up of getting good results and good financial results and it not showing on the park.
aye,
Because the last 3 windows have been a joke.
hmm but aye, it's just a week keep winning now. Obviously we go to Wednesday. I'll be back with my match preview for the game against Dundee. Celtic Park, innit? Aye. Um,
Celtic Park,
so
7:45.
aye,
And Kilmarnock are playing Rangers, so fingers crossed.
but obviously until then, thanks for joining as well, Alistair. Appreciate you
Okay,
coming on.
mate. Okay.
But until then, I will speak to you later. Hail, hail. See you
Hail,
later.
hail.